NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Yeah. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Ride Along Live. For today, it is Monday. Gotta double check sometime. Yo, guys, how do you realize it's almost the middle of the month already, you know? The middle of the year already, you know? It's almost June. Just the other day, I remember wishing everybody a happy new year. Look, it's the year almost finished. So you see, all you have to stop wasting time. Stop wasting time, guys. Time to wait on nobody. Precious, man. Look at that. Just the other day was Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. The year almost finished already. Anyway, guys, how are you doing? How are you doing? What's up? What's up, my beautiful people? Dylan, how you doing? Lorraine, Abigail, Susan. Who is first up on the ride? Who is first up? Elder, Charles, how you doing? Welcome to the ride. Thank you so much. And as soon as we started, we got 50 stars from James E.J. Young. Thank you so much, James, for your stars. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate it. Thank you. Night Riders. Good night, Riders. Night Riders. Today we have an interesting topic, guys. Today is a very interesting topic because yesterday we saw what a lot of people term as history in the making. History was made yesterday. A lot of people was very happy. So if you sit on one particular side, you were very happy of what happened yesterday. On the other side, not so much. But after all of this history was made yesterday, and people got a chance to absorb the history that was possibly made yesterday, it left a lot of questions like what, and what, right? So today, guys, we are going to have a discussion, a conversation. And to join us in this conversation, we have, of course, he's no stranger to the Ride Along Live. He's right there, former Minister of Agriculture. Very opinionated fella. My neighbor, by the way, from my area, right up there in Ladigue, Union, Richmond, that area up there. He's here with us. And of course, also no stranger to the ride. He's like my, my right hand. I could always call him, count on him, and he'll be there as well. Mr. Dwight Sampson is here, and we have, again, a lot to talk about, guys. A whole lot to talk about. So as you come in, share up the thing, say I share, and we are leaving you guys out, We're not leaving you guys out. I'm going to put the number up on the screen because I want you guys to chime in on your thoughts about yesterday now. After the event finished yesterday, we had an impromptu live, and we had a lot of people that called in and, they gave their opinion on what they witnessed. And there was still a lot of people that wanted to speak. So this is a kind of part continuation of the conversation from yesterday. So, right. So all through the program, you could call in and tell us what you think, whether you're for or against. We don't care. We just want to hear what's on your mind. Okay. All right. Okay. Steaming Coco, how you doing? Thank you so much. Welcome. All right, guys, everybody share. Thank you. And for the folks that's watching us for the very first time, thank you. If you're chiming in, if you're watching us for the very first time, we welcome you. Susan, thank you so much for sharing. Susan. I see you, Doris. All right. Okay. Good evening. Monet Williams, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me pin this. All right. I saw one of my guests just got up from the chair, so I'm waiting for you to come back. Okay, here he is now. Okay, let's get right into it, guys, because it's going to be a long night. Again, we have with us Mr. Dwight Sampson, no stranger to the ride, and of course, Mr. Micheal Baptiste, former agriculture minister. We're going to start with you, Mr. Baptiste, on what we saw yesterday. Now, it's no surprise. I don't think it's a surprise to you or anybody for that matter, that this moment would eventually come. But it happened yesterday. What was your thoughts about the event yesterday? Delma Thomas officially making the walk across the aisle to the National Democratic Congress.
Well, there was no surprise there. I mean, the situation between her and the leader of the New National Party, Dr. Micheal, carried to the point where she had no other choice but to leave. And of course, she did what was necessary. Sister Delma is a good human being. She's a good public servant. She has served her people well. I think she's bringing on board to the NDC, not just in the way of her service, but is the way how she deals with. She can invite us into the feelings of others. She understands people's feelings. She came from the people. Given the support, I think she can be a great asset to the National Democratic. Most disappointed that I did not see the leader, the PR, members of the executive, and the NDC in general warmly embracing the fold. And of course, I did not have any major announcement as to what her future will be. During the introduction, I heard her friend, Ms. Honorable Gloria Thomas, been named as the king for Northwest, and I thought that raised some eyebrow, because of course a MP who came over on your side, the word caretaker should have been erased. I was expecting to hear the Prime Minister made some major announcement to the people that, look, we're happy to have her, we welcome her into the fold, and I have instructed the Governor General that from tomorrow morning she will be sworn in as Minister in Ministry XYZ, and that she will be given all the tools and the assistance to serve the people in a manner that she has become accustomed to. I did not hear that, but of course, the Prime Minister is a different kind of political person. He did not go down that road, but it would have been very nice to have Sister Delma go home and sleep, celebrate with the supporters. Look, I left the New National Party, whatever it was not based on policies, but on personal differences with the leader. I have now migrated to the NDC, and this is what I brought home to you. So you can count on me to serve you the way I did in the years that I represented you under a different platform.
Okay, all right. So Dwight, you saw the event yesterday. What was your immediate feedback? What's your immediate take on it?
Okay, so good evening. Good evening, Micheal. It's good to be on a platform with you, Junior, and all of your listeners. Yeah, I had an opportunity to look at last night from the start to the end, and I must say indeed that I expected some major announcement coming out of that acceptance ceremony. And yes, I did see there was an embracing, there was a welcoming, not just from current executives, but former executives of the National Democratic Congress was there, and they were welcoming MP Thomas into the fold. and the question on most Grenadians' mind, and certainly from a journalistic standpoint, and the question has been asked tonight: what next? Where does MP Thomas go from here? You know, what role or function would she have in the government, if any? And you know, what sort of tools would she get to continue her good work in her constituency? Moreover, you have two Thomases in that one constituency, so in 3.5, 4 years, what's going to happen there? You know, those are the questions that I think Grenadians generally would have had, and I would have looking forward to hearing. When I checked the GIS page yesterday, there was just under, at one point, just under 3.1K persons watching that particular live. So it's indeed the entire, and I remember making mention, this is the entire nation was watching, wanted to see and hear what is going to happen. But what I do believe that the government is doing is that they're going through a transition stage and they're not making any hasty or hurried decisions. I hope that is the intention. I mean, our Prime Minister, the Honorable Micheal, has developed a track record for that. He's not one to hastily into decisions. He takes his time. He looks. He weighs the option. And I think that comes from his years as an attorney at law, a successful attorney at law. You know, you weigh the pros and the cons. You look at the both sides of the spectrum, and you make a decision from there. You know, it's not about political mileage. Clearly, it's about country. It's about people. It's about a member of parliament who has fallen out with the party that once housed her and for a home, you know, and so they use an opportunity to welcome her into a family and give her that structure, that support, in terms of being able to do that which she desires to do in her constituency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mike, interestingly, you said that you didn't see that she was given a portfolio. So your expectation was that the announcement would have been made and there would have been immediate handover of a portfolio to Delma Thomas. That was your expectation, right?
Well, she's no ordinary member that just coming over. She's a valuable prize in their possession. She was the leader of the New National Party. She's a successful minister in terms of delivering. She's well liked. She has a lot of assets, and I did not hear that announcement. I was anticipating to hear something major, not just with acknowledgement or welcoming ceremony. I mean, this is politics, and if she's going to the National Democratic Committee's support in the parliament, and sometimes situations are uncertain. If the prime minister have a problem with one or two members in his team, he now have an insurance policy there. So I was expecting something substantial coming out of that meeting. To Northwest, he should have been taught, would say to the people, I welcome her on board. She's well received. And here I am, starting tomorrow. I have instructed the Governor General to appoint her in a position. I think that is befitting. You see, when you have that stature of a elected member of parliament, when a party could snatch a confidant from another party, you have to immediately raise the profile. You have to send a signal to others that look, she's here with us, and we have accepted her into our fold, and this is what her role shall be.
Right.
You see, there's a thing called you don't get a chance to create something a second time. You see, the perception is like when you have an opportunity, you got to seize it. You can't go back and redo it and say, well, I should have done that. You had a captive audience, and her supporters and even her former colleagues was expecting something. What is it that you're going to be doing as a new member of the National Democratic Congress? Are you going to be there like Terry Forrester? Are you going to just sit around and just add to the numbers? Or would you be given the opportunity to be part of the transformational team, given the support that you can service the constituency? Because look, let's face it, that constituency now, NP and NDC supporters have the two people they voted for is in government. So more is expected from the two of them. She have to satisfy the supporters who came along with her, and they also have to satisfy the supporters who voted for the other candidate. So there's the for the great announcement to put her in a position of authority, a position of power, where she can continue to see, well, not just in the St. Andrews area. And she's the kind of reach across the board. They have a good grounds person with them. I think the reason why she won in a close election is because she reached out to NDC supporters as well. It didn't matter whether you're NNP or NDC. She saw people as people, Grenadians, and it didn't matter what party you belong to. If you go to the lady and you sought assistance, she would give you assistance.
Right.
So now is the time to and tools that she can go there and strengthen them. Because if she's given to strengthen them, she can be a great force in the United
States. Sampson, what's your take on that? Because and also I want you to add to this, right? Because Micheal's saying that it wasn't done in that way. He expected it to be done a little more hastily in terms of her appointment of her position. But I also want you to address, if that happened so quickly, what would the other members? There are some members of supporters that have been there for the NDC, and they have not been given portfolio. Tessa, Sincere, and others. What does that mean for them then? They've been through the whole works. They've been through the fight, and they were not given that position. But look, Delma came in, and she was given such a prominent position. Speak to that as well. But make your point to what Baptiste was saying.
Look, if the Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Micheal wanted to be a Keith Micheal, he would have announced Delma Thomas will become deputy minister in some ministry tomorrow. But he's not. He's Deacon Micheal, and he has shown tremendous political maturity in the way that he handles national affairs. You take some time, you observe her. There's a transitional process. You allow that to go through. She's coming from the NNP ways and ways of doing things and so on, and now you're coming into a new family, and this family would do things differently, and so you need time to come up and come into the party culture. Delma Thomas is even though she has about 15 or so years political experience, Delma Thomas is relatively new to the political arena in Grenada. She's not a Micheal Baptiste, she's not a Kelly Lal Singh, she's not those kind of foremost name. And even if her father, as was mentioned yesterday, was a very good community man and should have learned that at his feet, one of the things that earned her the name the People's Minister under the NNP is that Delma Thomas has not ascended to the high office and change or switch up. Delma Thomas is still Delma Thomas. She'll put on her sneakers and walk through Grenville and greet everybody and laugh with everybody as if she's Delma Thomas, right? And so even if she wasn't given a portfolio or a ministry, I don't think that hurt Delma Thomas in any way. I think that she's happy. She's comfortable. She's been welcomed into the fold, and this didn't happen yesterday. This has been happening for months. She has chosen to work with the Honorable Senator Gloria Thomas, The Prime Minister done it. He welcomed it. He encouraged it. He gave them the tools to do what they need to do, and they did it. And so we're seeing the manifestation of that. So the decision, Mr. Baptiste said that she didn't have a choice. She had a choice. She could have done like Terry, who might I say is a very hard working, Terry's one of the hardest working non-politician that ever come across. She could have gone independent like Terry and then move into the NDC. No, she had a family. This family was here with her. They were supporting her through the transition when the NNP was saying get out of our party. They went on radio station and say resign from the parliament, resign from the seat, and so on and so forth. And then we had the former prime minister rather, Dr. Micheal, getting onto a platform in the same St. Andrews area and saying politics about serving the people. But when you send your props and your people onto your radio station that's affiliated with your party to say to the Honorable Thomas, resign from her seat, resign from the party, do you care about the people that you represent? Because you're putting them back into a by-election, basically, when they just come from an election just a few months earlier, right? So do you care about the people? So I mean, there are more questions, than answer. But one of the significant things I want to mention here, and I think this is what Micheal needs to allude or to zero in on, the NNP house is in ruins. And no one is talking about this. When the NDC had their time during 2008 and 2013, the media played a critical role in what had happened. The media played a critical role in the demise of the government. The media played, and I'm not bashing my media colleagues in Grenada. I think that they work hard and they do an exceptional job. Here is it that former Prime Minister Delma Thomas pro-joined Parliament, coming to the end of his political term as Prime Minister. But now we have Dr. Micheal pro-joining his party's convention, but nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that a letter was given to Delma Thomas, basically pushing her out of the party. Roland Bowler said it, she confirmed it. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that Kendra Mathurin Stewart, a former legal affairs minister in the last administration, showed up at a ceremony where one of her senior ministers, a colleague ministers, former colleague minister, is moving into the opposition, what used to be the opposition party during their tenure, now the government. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact. Nobody's talking since after election, Pamela Moses has basically gone into hiding. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody is mentioning these things, but we have a situation where the government, and I mean, I'm trying not to be biased here, but the NDC government is being, is being judged by a different measuring stick, and I'm saying that these are the things over the years that we have seen happen repetitively. This is not new to the politics in Grenada. Peter David and a few others, they were expelled from the NDC and they joined the NNP. It is just the nature of politics. But at the end of the day, what is critical is service to people. Service to people. And Delma Thomas is a people's person. She is the people's minister. She's the people's MP, and she continues to serve the people. So it's not about becoming a minister, being tied down into a ministry or whatever the case may be. It's about service to the people, and that is what she said yesterday. She's fighting for the people. And so let her fight for the people. I am sure in due course, if the PC is fit, there is going to be that conversation, and she's going to be put into a ministry. But Delma Thomas has spent nine, almost 10 years in ministry, and now she wants to spend the rest of her time serving her constituency. Let her by all means do so.
Yeah. And again, we don't know for a fact if Delma even want to have
and I don't think that she wants a ministry. I think because remember, Delma would have served one term, 2008 to 2013 opposition. She wasn't even an opposition elected member. She lost her seat. So this is the first time in her history, in her career as a politician, that she's actually a sitting MP on the opposition bench. Now she's moving over to the government. And I believe that now she wants that experience, that time. I can't speak for the Honorable Thomas, but I believe that she now wants that experience and that time to basically gain that experience working with her people, being on the ground with her people, looking after the needs of her people. I think that's what I personally think, because I mean, she had a conversation with the prime minister. They had conversation. She said it yesterday, and I'm very certain that that would have probably been a part of the discussion. But then again, final point, Junior. But then again, we have a situation on the ground, right, where that mentality, that NNP, I like to call it mentality of gimme, 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 is predominantly affecting the NDC's governance in Grenada. We have people on the ground, saying, "Oh, I supported the party. I did this for the party. I did that, and I wasn't given a job. I wasn't given this. I wasn't given the other." Right? And then you have the Honorable Thomas coming from the opposition into the government, and bam, she gets a job. That is going to ruffle some feathers for the government, and I believe that in his care and concern for Grenadians, for the people that support him, party, I believe that the Prime Minister is moving with caution and he's taking his time. And I applaud the Prime Minister, because that is a definition of political maturity.
Yeah. Just a bit of breaking news that just came through a wire. Micheal, I'll come to you in a quick second. Just came through a wire here. From the GIS is saying that the government of Grenada will receive 16.4 million. Let me take this caller and then I'll give you guys the breaking news. Right. So the breaking news is that, let me pull it back up here. The government of Grenada would receive 16.4 million pounds from a grant from the UK CIF for the South St. George water supply expansion. If you guys remember that this was an area of contention where the former Prime Minister was accusing the now NDC administration of losing that money. So this just came out that the government of England, the UK, will now grant Grenada that $16.4 million. He went on to say that the government of Grenada is pleased to confirm that the United Kingdom, through its Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office and the Caribbean Development Bank, a letter dated on the 16th of May, has confirmed this grant, a financial donation or grant of 16.3555 million UK pounds. That is excess of 30-something million EC dollars. That just came to the wire here. Micheal, I guess you could speak to this breaking news as well, because this was something that there's a big talking point of that monies that was lost. I know we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Delma Thomas situation. But how significant is that breaking news, Mr. Baptiste?
Well, if the money is for South St. George, I guess it's good news for the people in the constituency, in the great constituency of the South, which we usually call Grenada. But if you look around rural Grenada, there's a lot of places in rural Grenada where we have very poor and inadequate water supply. There are some days that the pipes are corroded. It's been there for so long. The 2-inch pipe no longer have the volume of a 3/4 pipe because of the dirt that accumulated, and then we need a water rehabilitation supply. I mean, I remember many years ago, I went into Parliament with a bottle of dirty water, and I had to bring it to the attention of the Grenadian people and the world to show them what people in rural Grenada is drinking. Yes. So while I do understand that they're trying to develop the water in the South, the water in the South is coming from rural Grenada. And I think more attention should be paid to rural Grenada in building reservoirs, building dams, and improving on the water supply. I can't help but say, yeah, but tongue alone is not Grenada. It's good news. Yes, it's good news. Okay. Great news. Anytime Grenada gets a grant, it's great news. Right. But I'm saying that there's the bulk of the people in St. Andrews and parts of rural Grenada, their water supply is inadequate. In the dry season, the tops are dry. When it rains, sometimes the water goes off for days without notification and so on. So it's not just in the South that needs improvement. We need improvement in Grenada. Now, in terms of what the brother said about
go ahead, Micheal. Yes, go ahead.
Other people may feel that the Honorable Delma Thomas just came in and got a position. The other people are not lawmakers. They run and they lost. They do not have the same weight as Honorable Delma Thomas carried to the NDC in terms of being a legislative partner, being an insurance policy in the government. Should something happen with the previous 9 members that they have, she's there now strengthening them. And let me say to you, my brother, maybe you do not understand how the politics of Grenada works. If she's just going over there to serve a constituency, that'd be a waste of time. You can't serve your constituency without the tools. She could have stayed in her position based on what you said and serve a constituency. If you are successful in a general elections and you do not have the resources to service your people, especially in the area where she's representing, the people in Montana, poverty strict area, Maribor, Birch Grove, Sab, Adelphi, Paradise, and these areas, they're expecting the MPs to deliver the goods and the services. And let me just advise you, my brother, in order to deliver the goods and services, you have to be around the table where the decisions are made. You can't be on the outside. Say I join a government, I'm staying outside of the room while decisions are made inside the room. You have to be in the room. You have to be around the table. You have to fight like you're fighting an opponent, because after the elections is over, you have what you call inner party politics, where individual members are fighting to get a bigger slice of the cake to serve their people. So if she's gonna just stay outside of the room, she can't serve the people adequately. She have to go where the power is.
Yeah, but
and she has
but Michael,
that decision of being inside of the room or being outside of the room doesn't necessarily. What difference would it make if they make that announcement tomorrow? Because I know that I know that they have announced. I just got a message from the GIS that the government is stating that the media is invited to a press conference at 1 p.m. on Tuesday the 23rd, and that's happening at the House of Parliament lower level conference room. So that we're not saying that that's going to happen then, but the difference between today and tomorrow is not a big game changer.
But Junior, may I just slip in here? Michael, let me just correct you. I never said that the Honorable Thomas is going to stay and work in the constituency. I said if maybe this is what she wants to do, because this is the first time she's an elected member for the constituency. The only other time that she would have not been in actual government and working in the constituency when she was a caretaker under the NNP during 2008, 2013. This is what I said. No, I also said, and I want to make this categorically clear, that our prime minister, based on track records and history, is not a prime minister who hastily makes a decision. We can tell this. He takes his time, he analyzes situations, and then he comes to the Ghanaian people with all the information and all the facts. This is something that we are not accustomed to under the previous administration. They will come, they will tell you something, and you ask them a question, or the media ask them a question, and they will tell you to get back to you, right? But this prime minister doesn't just call press conferences to perform gymnastics. He calls press conferences when it's necessary, and he gives the country enough information. He makes himself available, he answers the question, he put the information out, right? And so, yes, we want to know, all of us, the entire country, the diaspora, wants to know what is going to happen to the Honorable Delma Thomas. And I think what we should do is to give the government the time to sit down with the policymakers that in the cabinet, to sit down with the executive of the party, to sit down with the members of the party, and come up with the best solution. This is not a fly-by-night thing. We don't operate like that in Grenada anymore. Decisions are made based on information, based on research, based on facts. Okay, and let me just come back, jump on that point that the announcement Junior made. I saw it just before I came on about a $16 and so million a British pound sterling that has been allocated to Grenada. Now that's wonderful news, and that comes in the wake of information that has been mentioned. I published this on my personal page, Dwight Sampson on Facebook. Whoever wants to add me, I'll go check it out. Now, the Right Honorable Keith Micheal has proven himself to be a dishonest man. Dr. Micheal, and I put on there, Dr. Micheal, when David, not James, David Cameron, former Prime Minister of Great Britain, he said the man name was James. And I think that was purposeful also, because you cannot be a world leader and not remember another world leader's name. That's madness. James Cameron came to Grenada on September 31st, 2000, and I believe it was 14 or 15. He visited Grenada, he visited Jamaica.
15. He was 15.
15, right. He visited Grenada. He offered a package of over 360 million British pounds sterling, right? Of that amount of money, right, it was divided into 3 tranches. The first was for one purpose, and then there was 30 million both ways, right? So since 2015 till the NNP lost election in 2022, you are telling me that the new National Party, now remember, 2015 is after 2010 and before 2018 election. They won the 2013, they won the 2018, they lost the 2022. So they basically had just roughly about 2 terms to use 360 million British pounds sterling, and they did nothing. But they expect the NDC government to come in 10 months and use the money. I don't get it, right? And the former prime minister went on a political platform, his political platform, and said that this government is the one who lost the money. No, you lost the money. You lost the money. And now I am happy to hear that we are getting some money. And as Micheal rightfully said, the water situation in Grenada is not just in the south, it's all over the country. And yes, I believe in due course, they are going to get to it.
Right. Hold that thought right there. Let's take a phone call. Have a caller on the line for the longest while. We've got a caller. Caller, live, where are you calling us from?
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, hi, caller. Turn your background down. Turn your background down so we don't get that feedback.
Sure. Wait. Yeah, hello, I'm calling from Grenada.
Go right ahead, Grenada.
Yeah?
Yes, go right ahead.
So, I would like to find out from Mr. Baptiste, what is his motive behind our Prime Minister just accepting Minister Thomas and giving her a portfolio right away? That's not how things work. He has to understand that. The Prime Minister is sensible, a very sensible young man who is going to make a decision when the time is right. Hurry birds never build a good nest, and this NDC is trying to build a solid nest. So, Mr. Baptiste, be careful with your words, okay? Have a good evening.
All right, let's get Mr. Baptiste to respond. Mr. Baptiste, say careful with your words.
Careful.
I don't know if she's speaking on behalf of the Prime Minister or she's speaking on her own behalf. But whenever someone cross the floor and they go over to another party, of course there'll be discussions before that happens. This is not something that happens overnight. And part of the discussion between the two leaders, the person of the government and the person coming in, one of the discussions will have to be what role that person will play in advancing the agenda of the party of the government that they just joined. So that's a reasonable question. That's how politics happen all over the world. You don't leave one party, go as an elected member, go to another party, and sit home and watch the ceiling. Obviously, there have to be some prearrangements as to what your role will be in the government. If there's no such decision, then what's the point? You can stay in the opposition, you can sit, and of course, the caller is ignorant about how things work. You can sit in parliament as an independent member, and you can give support, or you can say, do as you please. So I am saying here that I'm expecting in the very near future, I was disappointed it did not happen on Sunday, but I'm expecting in the very near future that the Thomas would be placed in a ministry where she continued to service her constituency and the people of St. Andrews. So I have no apologies on that, whether it is hurry-bed. It's not a question of hurry-bed. It's a question of expediency. She came from one side, she go over to the next. And obviously, she happened to be given the tools to serve the people.
Yeah. Let me ask, Dwight, I'll come to you on this, right? Let me ask you, how devastating of a blow is Delma Thomas crossing the floor to the from the to the NNP? How devastating of a blow is it to the NNP? And also, how much of an impact do we think that she would make in the NDC? Dwight, you want to take first whack at it?
Yeah, Junior, let me just say this before I answer your both questions. To Micheal, what I'm saying to Micheal is that his sentiments are heard and his sentiments are factual. But I'm also saying to Micheal, and I hope I can call you Micheal because you're an elder statesman to me.
It's okay, don't that.
Let's be patient. I think the Prime Minister, as I said, is not a man who has shown a history of hasty decisions. He takes his time and he makes decisions. So you never know. In a not too distant future, something is going to be mentioned. We still have about 3.5, 4 years in government. Still, there's enough time. This is not 6 months before an election, which has been the benchmark of the NNP. They add a senator 6 months before election, and then you see them pop up and run in an election. No, I don't think that this is what's going to happen. In response to your question, Junior, I think that Delma's departure is a severe blow to the NNP. And this has been evident because when the rumor began to circulate that Delma is taking an exit, all of a sudden we're hearing about meetings in St. Andrews, meetings in Northeast St. George, meetings in Southeast St. George, meetings all over the place. And those meetings are pregnant with lies and propaganda. And this is a situation where the former Prime Minister has become a national laughing stock. He's grabbing onto some straw with the hope that somehow this is going to reignite his political expediency. And I think he's still a very popular politician. He's one of the strongest politicians we have on the ground. We cannot take that from him, with all due respect. There are certain parts of Grenada you cannot go and say at the name of an NDC minister or the NDC party. They're full on NNP, right? But in spite of that, in spite of knowing that he still commands certain audience on the ground, he still is trying to paint the NDC in a bad light. And trying to show the incompetence. He has mentioned on the political floor that this is the worst NDC government that he has seen, and so on and so forth. So I think that this departure has given them a serious blow. But for the NDC, it's a major injection into the life of the party. Minister Thomas has been lauded as the people's MP. She was the most liked MP under the NNP administration. She was the most celebrated MP on the NNP administration. She's known famously for saying she doesn't care if you're NNP or NDC. Once it is that you are a Grenadian, I'm paraphrasing, once you're a Grenadian, you will get her support. And she has lived up to those words. She's never one day, or it has not ever been mentioned that she has become a biased politician, and for Dr. Micheal to have lost someone like that is monumentous, and so I think everyone is at the edge of their seat, wondering what's next for the Honorable Minister, where she would go from there. But again, I'm going to mention, and I think it's because I'm a journalist by trade and craft, that the media are silent. The silence is absolutely deafening. But in the same breath, I'm calling on the national community to respect the work of journalists across the island. I attempted several times, Junior, to pen something on my personal page regarding attacks I've seen lauded against other programs like yours, host, and I think you know who I'm speaking about. And I think she does an awesome job. Dr. Kellan Bob does an awesome job as well. And we need the Kalisha Ferrers, we need the Junior George, we need the Kellan Bobs, because they are bringing to the fore the information that we needed. But mainstream journalism is very laid back in terms of what is happening with the NNP is not much different to what is happening with what had happened with the NDC during 2008 and 2013. But yet, for all, the media is just casually taking it as we go, you know. And so I really want to see more work coming from them,
Right.
in terms of addressing what is going on with the NNP, because the people on the ground are asking what's happening with the party, where are we going, what you know, and
Right.
maybe the genuine NNP supporters, maybe they just want to know what's happening in that stead.
Michael, you had a kind of different idea as to the role and the importance that Delma Thomas will play in the NDC administration. What's your take? How devastating of a blow was she leaving the NNP, and how important is she in the NDC?
Well, I think it's a personal setback for Dr. Micheal. I know that politically he's hurt. Personally, he's hurt. This is someone that he had a lot of confidence in. He had a very good relationship with her. She's a good person. She was a good minister. Um, I can't say it's a major blow for the NNP just yet. And I'll be honest with you, I can't say that just yet.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it all depends on the goods and the services that she can deliver to the people from that organization. She became who she are. She was a minister, someone that can invite themselves into others' feelings, an honest person. She got that reputation because she was given the tools, the ministry. She was Minister of Social Services, a very powerful ministry. And then she was asked to go over to help out there. So I think her success as an NNP minister will be compared to her success as a NDC. It all depends on the goods and services, how this government performs, how she performs, if she's given the materials, the positions to service people. If you just, as I tell you before, if she's going to just sit there and just go along and say, aye, the eyes have it, then I don't think that would be a major blow to the NNP. But if she continued to serve in the NDC government as she served in the NNP government, I believe there could be problems for the NNP.
Mm. And by problems, you mean?
Well, in terms of people, because see, the politics is all about them. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that Micheal expire, NNP expire, and all of this. I don't share those sentiments. I believe the key to the expiration of Dr. Micheal and the bearing of the NNP is directly proportional to the service of this government, the delivering of the goods and services of government. If this government delivers, into the performance, you could bid NNP goodbye. If they're not satisfied, then it's a horse of a different color altogether. I mean, I've been around the politics long enough to understand the thinking. If you serve them well, fine. If you don't serve them well, then it's bye-bye.
What about and let's take out the political shades right now. Let's just talk about it from the 1 year that the NDC has came into power. Now they came in, and the whole thought, I remember speaking to you early in the year, Michael, last year, and we were saying these guys, none of them held political office before. Everyone was thinking that they would probably go in there and the whole place go collapse. It was a doomsday scenario. You are betting on the wrong set of people to go in there. Now they went in there as inexperienced politicians, and they were able to, one, pay that pension within a record time. They were able to do a number of different things not as politicians who are seasoned. They did things like the bi-monthly payment, which was something that has been spoken about probably since back in your days that you used to be in Parliament, Michael. They did that, right? So have they, in your estimation, have they done anything based on where you sit based on what you observe from them?
I think the paying of the pension was a very good thing. I think the laws, the court ruled, of course, the laws were laid down by the late great Eric Gary. People who serve under the GOP and Uncle Gary, they got the pension. It is the modern day politician that saw the need not to continue paying pension to the people who have given their blood, sweat, and tears to the land. I think it was a good thing that this government came in, they honored the court order, and they paid the pension. I think it was a good thing, and they have to be applauded for that. Though I believe if it was spread out over a period of time, it probably would have been a lot better, because you would have more money to spend in other sectors of the economy, namely agriculture and some social programs. But it is what it is. It's paid, and it was well received. However, the intention that $75 million was of the hope that that money was circulating in the economy. I'm not so sure, and the jury out on that, whether or not that $75 million actually circulated in the economy and gave the economy. In terms of
circulating,
paying,
I see you like instant gratification. You are a guy, you love instant gratification.
No.
The process
hold on, let me finish. I am not saying that a little of it may have circulated, but you know, Junior, a lot of these people are well into the twilight years. Some of them waited for as long as 35 years. They have retired into poverty, and God bless them they get a little money. Most of them will not run out money like 18-year-old or a lot of it went in tank. Some probably escaped to Japan and so on. In terms of paying twice a month, it is a convenient thing. I mean, I learned in engineering school that there's something called perpetual motion. If you can't take a dead battery to charge a dead battery. If you split up somebody's small salary in two pieces, is it the same small salary that is split in two? Save and except there was an increase. There was an increase.
Michael.
There was an increase in the salary. Then you spend increase. But for convenient purposes, having your monies twice a month, it's a convenient thing. But it does not spur economic growth because it's the same money.
We both live in the United States, Michael. You lived here for a number of years.
Right.
And you understand this as well as I do.
I'm still there, yes.
You're right. If you are getting paid more regularly, the economy turns over much quicker. The money gets spent much quicker. The money gets circulated throughout, right? Think about it. No one in the US get paid.
America has the number one economy now.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I think just from a layman's perspective, right, having money circulating in the economy twice bi-monthly is good for the economy. There are activities that's going to be happening throughout, not only at the end of the month, but also at the middle of the month. Dwight has a point to make. So Dwight, let me jump in. Michael, I'll come back.
You mean more Jamaican artists?
Well, even if the Jamaican artist comes in, right? There is a spin-off, you know. There's a spin-off. People go to fets, they go buy clothes, they buy this, they buy that. There's a spin-off. So entertainment, there are major spin-off from entertainment.
All I'm saying, Junior, it is a matter of convenience for someone to get their monies twice a month. But as I said before, there's something called perpetual motion. If you split
Michael, are you
$800 a month or $1,000 small parts, then the same thing. But however, it is a good gesture that people getting their money twice a week. But it does not spur economic growth.
Okay,
Michael,
go ahead.
I mean, I am not physically on the ground in Grenada, but I think I am more in touch with what is happening on the ground than you are. Because your last few statements make me wonder if you are in touch with the reality of what's. No, hold on. I'm very much questioning if you're in
That's
touch
very
with the
good for
reality.
you.
But listen. When you are telling a single mother of 2 or 3 children that she has to wait until the end of the month to get another salary, and she has to send these 2 children to school, she has to provide a bus fare, lunch, and a snack, still have to find money still for her to go to work and so on and so forth, and maybe lunch for herself as well. You're telling this mother that she has to, whatever grocery she goes to the supermarket and buys at the beginning of the month, has to stretch somehow to reach the end of the month. That is a difficult thing, and I agree. It's a convenience, but it also provides the opportunity for this mother to say, okay, well, I can now safely buy groceries for 2 weeks instead of 4, right? And the supermarkets now don't have to wait until the end of the month when it becomes peak for them to actually be able to make something that, and it quickly has to go back out because they have salaries and utilities and everything else to pay. They now have a spread throughout the entire month. You spoke about Jamaican artists. When people want to go to Jamaican artist shows, they have to buy. They want to buy a shoes. They want to buy a dress. They want to buy probably some headwear or something. The vendors make something. Those are the same quote unquote poor and vulnerable people that we always chant about in Grenada. At the end of the day, Michael, regardless of how you put it, anywhere in the world you go that pays bi-monthly, it is better than paid monthly, because now you have the opportunity now to balance your finances in a way that you'll be able to consistently provide for your family throughout the month. You just have one Sunday or one weekend in that particular month where you don't have physical money coming in, But I want to go to a point that you made earlier about Delma, MP Thomas. Now, MP Thomas defeated the great Walker to win her seat, right? For you to have done that for Walker, who has been a repetitive member of parliament over a certain amount of years, it means that you had to be good. You had to come strong. And Delma Thomas has never been one of them to win on an NNP ticket. She has worked. She has beat the ground. She has established herself. She is known for what she's known for, right? And Senator Gloria Ann Thomas, recognized very early in the game that if she wants to make an indent into the constituency, she needs to work with the MP, right? And she did so. And so now the 2 ladies have continued the work. And I'm saying, right? I am saying that regardless of she get a ministerial position or doesn't get a ministerial position, this departure of this MP is a severe blow to the NNP. This was their most famous minister. This was the minister that people, and it's not just because she was a minister of social development. That probably has a percentage to play in the mathematical equation. But it is also because that she is a people's person. She is the most humble minister that they had. You could have walked up to the woman anywhere at any time and have a conversation with her, and she could bear witness of what you're going through. Delma Thomas is a mother of 5 children.
You're converted, my brother.
And I want to finish
I already said that, yes.
And I want to finish preaching, because the point I'm getting to here, for any political organization to lose somebody like Delma Thomas, it means that something seriously is going on within. And this is the reason why I made a statement about the media. Something sinister is going on within the NNP, and we're not being privy to it because our media on the ground, the ones who are supposed to dig into the information, pull out the information and give the national community, are not doing it because maybe they just don't want to do it. Maybe they are paid not to do it. We don't know. We cannot assume. What we can assume here, what we can say indefinitely, is that she has left the NNP. She's now under the NDC, and that, my friend, is political democracy at work. And she came from a broken organization. Something has to be going on in there. Delma Thomas is the most honest minister as well. So for her to leave the NNP and walk over to the NDC, what is this? Is this saying that the NDC is an honest party? Yes. It's saying that she feels comfortably enough to put her reputation against that of the NDC. That, my friend, is not the definition of a serious blow,
let's get one thing. One correction to what you said. she did not leave the NNP as an NNP minister. She was an opposition member. She was a former member
Correct.
who had a fallout with the
Correct.
leader. And it is within her right. It is her right to join another organization.
She had a fallout with
Nothing
the
wrong with
minister
that.
or the hold on. She had a fallout with the former prime
No,
minister.
no,
Or the
I
former
said
prime
the
minister
leader
fallout?
of the opposition.
Okay, so the leader of the opposition had a fallout with Delma, or Delma had a fallout with because you've been saying all night that Delma had a fallout with
I don't.
the leader.
It's
That is
about
not the
splitting
case.
hairs.
She said it
That's a
yesterday.
matter.
No, I'm saying to you that this program, we want to make sure that we put the information as factual as it is. Delma made it categorically clear in April and yesterday that she didn't have a fallout with the former prime minister and opposition leader. Now she said that she had an opinion. Her opinion was, since you said, give me one for the road, or whatever he said in the campaign. Now let us know. Let now live up to what you said. You said that you're leaving. Okay, so here's my opinion. My opinion is that Peter David is the best person to take the party through that transition. Dr. Micheal did not like that, and so instead of her sitting her down and have a conversation, she said yesterday she didn't get to have a conversation with him. He refused to have a conversation with her. Instead of doing what the adult thing will do, have a conversation with her, express his concern, tell her what he plans to do as a leader, share his plans with. Instead of doing that, what he did is he put his goons to go on the station up in Sotters and call for her resigning from her position as MP, resign from the party. Then he put his general secretary, who confirmed it on a local media house, that he sent her a letter. She confirmed she got the letter yesterday, sent her a letter. We don't know the details of the letter, but that letter, from what she said or she hinted, was basically time to go, right? So let us not mix words here. Let's not mix the information. The information is that that even after she went on the political on her platform in her constituency and to her constituents, not the national community, to her constituents as to what was happening, which is the thing that she's supposed to do as an MP, she went to Parliament and sat down under the same leadership. So it shows that this humble human being, this respectable woman, still did what was right, sat down under his leadership in the Parliament, right, and did what she was supposed, what she's paid to do. What the people of her constituency put her there to do. But you know, Micheal, I know, and the national community knows that in the NNP, you don't have an opinion. You don't, what Dr. Micheal says is law, is Bible. You don't have an opinion. Yes, sir. No, sir. That is how it goes in the NNP. Let us not mix words, right? And she now coming to a family where this is not the case.
Yeah, I think Micheal know that also well.
He knows it. And let's be honest.
I know Micheal know this. Micheal was the firing rod. Micheal knows this very well.
And Micheal, you know for a fact because let me say this.
Listen to me, my dear brother. Listen to me, my dear brother.
I have allowed you to speak, so let me make my point.
Dwight, just let me respond real quickly, and I want to get to respond. We'll come back to you. Go ahead, Micheal.
The process of changing a leader is through a convention,
and he put you on that.
It is not for. It is not the business of an MP, a former MP, a minister, or anyone to dictate to who the next leader should be. If you're in an organization and you're of the opinion that Tom Jones should be the leader, you get on the ground, you go to the party structures, the meetings, and you canvass the delegates, and you try to get them to vote for the person that you're supporting to be the leader of the party. That is how it's done. It is not for anyone to say to anyone you should hand over a party to XYZ. That is not the democratic way to do it.
Yeah,
as far as I see it.
She says she had
did she do that?
Hold on. In all, I am not here defending Dr. Micheal, as you would know. I have been Dr. Micheal's most vicious and brutal critic over the years. So don't force me to and make it appear as if I'm defending him. What I'm saying to you, political parties have a process. It's called a convention.
And he put you on the
Westminster
convention.
system. You want to give me a chance to finish, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
After an election in the Westminster system, the leader of the losing party usually will go to his party and say, look, I have tendered my resignation. In the case of Dr. Micheal, I heard he said in some broadcasts that he's not going to hold on to the leader of the opposition for that long, which means that he intends to relinquish that position. Now, the next step is for the party to go to a convention and select a leader, whatever means or when they choose. That is an internal matter.
Who's blocking
you as a member?
Who's blocking the convention? Who's blocking the convention from happening?
Say that again?
That's my question.
Who's blocking the convention from happening?
That is NNP internal matters. What is important here is that he has signaled there will be a convention. Let us wait until the convention and see if he goes back on his word. I think right now it's premature. What if next week
in a broadcast that was done, Dr. Keith Micheal said he ain't going nowhere. He said that. I probably could pull it up, but he said that. He said he's not going. And Michael, you said in an interview on another network that you believe that Dr. Keith Micheal should not go nowhere. He should stay as leader of the party and go into the next election. You said that as well.
Well, in the absence of a viable alternative, I see no reason if the executive so choose, and they select him to lead them into a next election.
But why is there not a viable alternative? Why is there not a viable alternative? That is the problem. That is the
well. It is in the opinion of the delegates, not you and I or my dear brother, to make that decision.
Sampson.
That is a decision. My dear brother Sampson. That is not the decision. Just like I heard the honorable Delma Thomas said, no one can ask her to quit. And she's right about that. No one can ask her to resign. That is a personal decision. Dr. Micheal resigning or giving up the leadership of his party is a personal decision. It is up to the electorate and the delegates of his party to determine whether or not they want him to stay. And I think when the time comes and the convention is on, we will see that. As it stands now, let us wish the Honorable Delma Thomas all the luck. Let us wish her success. Let us pray that this government deliver the goods and services to the people of Grenada so Dr. Micheal could be history. I campaigned against Dr. Micheal for the last 20 years, my brother. So I am not here rooting for him. What I'm saying to you, we must allow due process to prevail. They have a convention.
Okay, guys, hold on one second, guys. Both of you guys, hold on one second. I got a call on the line. I've been waiting for 7 minutes. Caller, you live. Sorry for keeping you hold so long. Caller, go right ahead. Tell us where you're calling us from.
Good night, Junior. I'm calling from Crown Heights, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead.
You know what? With all due respect to Mr. Baptiste, I think Mr. Baptiste, Grenadians are not foolish. I think Grenadians realize that this trickery game with Keith in the pawn, out of pawn, I think we Grenadians, we know where he stands. I mean, Keith cannot fool people again because one minute he's saying he's going to give up leadership, and the next minute, he's reversing back. So, we know where he stands. I don't think he even know where he stands himself, Keith. I don't even know if he knows where he stands with the whole political thing. This man, this former PM, is not going to give up leadership. When you hear him talk and you listen to him talk, words jump out, but you have to listen to what he says. And what Dwight says is absolutely so true and was so right, because, Delma Thomas was the glue to that party. Delma Thomas was the glue to that party, and she was the glue to that party. And for you to have such a good person to let her go like this, it is sad. And what Dwight says is true. It is a blow to the NNP party to know what what was surfacing. And it is surprising to know she come to that mini rally yesterday, and the amount of things that was unearthed, what she says, what was going on. And
yes.
I'm still wondering who is this faceless monster. And I think people is trying to get to know. I think Grenadians.
If you only know.
Who that person is. I mean, I think
we know.
people might
We know.
figure it out.
We know.
We know, but we're not gonna say. And I think the situation with Delma is like in a bad relationship.
Yes.
Because she's the only one that hold that party together, the glue to that party. And for you to miss a reasonable leader like this and an MP like this, I think I don't know, but let us just watch how the process is. I think our Prime Minister is very smart, articulate, and I think he knows what he's doing. And I understand Dwight's point, because you see, we had to be careful, because people in the NDC party is going to be looking like, oh wait, she just come on board and she get a platform, or she get this. So you have to be very strategic when you're doing this thing. But it is a blow. It is a blow to the NNP party to lose somebody so very tangible that hold that party together.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I wish her all the best. Yeah,
Yes.
they definitely lose somebody good, because I'm telling you, I grew up in Byron and I know that lady
Yes.
from a personal standard.
Yes.
She's not a greedy person. She's not a biased person. What she said yesterday was all truth.
Yes.
And the thing what's so fishy is, like, when you listen to Roland Bola and you listen to her story, you could sense that something just fishy. It's not right.
Yes.
I mean, I don't judge nobody, but we just wish her all the best. And my last point is that Delma is an example to we women in Grenada and Caribbean countries.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he behaving like Robert Mugabe. You want to have the iron fist. What I says goes, and if you don't, you're out. That's how dictators behave.
Exactly.
And it is true, and we've seen it. This is how he behaves. So it's like, okay, if you say you're gonna, you mentioned, oh, you want Peter David, but I understand where Micheal Baptiste is coming from, because parties don't do it like this. You say, oh, you want that person to be there. It have to be some kind of consultation to say, okay, well, we're gonna kick out, or we're gonna put somebody there for that person.
Yes.
But
yes,
I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best. I wish her all the best. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, caller. Appreciate you. Guys, let me just say in a programming note that this program is Right Along Live is brought to you with the kind compliments of Amazing Colors. Hold on, caller. Yeah, Right Along Live is brought to you with the kind compliments of Amazing Colors. And don't forget, if you play Monday Night Mass, you play Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. You can get your packages right now at mnngrenada.com. That's mnngrenada.com. Right Along Live is also brought to you with the kind compliments of the National Lotteries Authority, the NLA. Play the games of the NLA, and even if you don't win, you're still supporting sports culture and nation building. Dwight, I'm going to come to you, but I promise I have a next call on the line, and I'll come back to you. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from?
Grenada.
Grenada, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask Mr. Baptiste if he could remember the name of the name of the court in America where the former Prime Minister granted immunity. Mr. Baptiste is just ready to go into that court, because Mr. Baptiste said on several programs that the judge said when he's out of power, bring him back. I want Mr. Baptiste to talk on that again.
Thank you, caller.
Well, my dear brother,
Micheal,
let me
Go ahead, Michael.
just-
Let
me just advise the caller. There's something called the MLAT Treaty, a mutual legal assistance treaty. It is a treaty between the United States and Grenada, whereby both sides agreed that if there is a matter involving a Grenadian citizen and a United States citizen, the correct way to trigger such to activate that treaty is to go through the Attorney General in Grenada and the Attorney General in the United States. So whether or not I know of the court, and I do, it is not for me or for you to trigger that process. The Prime Minister is a learned member of the bar, and he knows the process. And if there is anything that he wished to do to reignite that case, he knows the process. It's called the MLAT treaty.
Micheal, the last time
Now-
you were here before.
Yeah.
And you had no problem. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. You had no problem giving us full details of what could and should be done during the process of that briefcase situation, right?
Is that Junior? Is that a program for this? This is a lengthy program.
I know. But
we talking here about the impact.
I know
of Honorable Delma Thomas.
I just
and let me just put that in for whatever it's worth. I don't know if the brother remember someone by the name of Grace Duncan. She was Deputy Prime Minister of Dr. Micheal.
Yes.
You remember Sister Grace Duncan?
Yes, I remember her as well.
I'm not that young.
She was the deputy. She was Deputy Prime Minister and also a confidant.
Yes.
She assisted Dr. Micheal in stealing the party from Robert Blaze. And she was treated in a more undignified manner than Sister Delma Thomas. So Dr. Micheal have a history of treating people close to him in that kind of way. I mean, so now that the table has turned, Sister Delma decided that she want to go her way. I mean, all kudos to her, and all I can do is to wish her luck. I'm not here to defend Dr. Micheal. I have been a Dr. Micheal critic for the last 25 years. I've campaigned openly both in Grenada and the United States against Dr. Micheal. But it is not for me or for you to say when he have to go. It is a personal decision that he and his party have to make.
True.
If the delegates of the party decided that they want him to continue, then so be it. Nothing you can do. The people of Grenada will determine whether or not they want him to be Prime Minister again. I hope they don't make that mistake again. But it is up to them. It's not for me and you. It is a democratic process. And by the way, the party belongs to Dr. Micheal. Anyone wishing to succeed him must sit with him, eyeball him, and get the blessings from him. No one can take that party away from him once he's alive.
Well, let me just jump in there because Junior, I have to run in a few minutes.
Yes.
I have another thing. But let me just say this, right? Let me just say this categorically. Dr. Micheal, let me not dance around the issue. The issue that Dr. Micheal had with Delma Thomas was that Delma Thomas was actively, according to him, not Delma, looking for ways to get him out of the party. That's what he thought. And so the consensus on the ground already existed that Grenadians was fed up of Dr. Micheal as leader, and they wanted a fresh breath, a new politician. And this is why Dr. Micheal came in under the NDC banner and brought that new fresh breath, right? She didn't tell Dr. Micheal, yo, it's time for you to retire and go and get some rest. She didn't tell him that. She said, listen, I am saying to you, and this is what she said. I'm saying to you, basically paraphrasing, that if you are going to keep your promise to the Grenadian people, if you're going to keep your commitment, your verbal contract with the Grenadian people, and step aside, the best person that I see to take over and to continue the work of the NNP is Honorable Peter David. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. If I'm in an organization and they're looking for an HR manager, or the HR manager say, look, this is my final month, I am leaving, there must be continuum. So if I'm working department, I say, listen, Tom A is a good candidate. Am I saying that I'm against the current HR manager? No, I am simply saying I suggest this person based on what I know about this person, what I observe about this person, what I've seen the person do. And this is what Delma did. And Dr. Micheal decided, I am not going to have democracy in the NNP. It's not going to happen. NNP belong to me. What I say, go. You don't like it, go away. That's what he did. So he postponed the convention, and nobody has the grit. No one has the testicular fortitude. No one has the strength to stand up and say, Dr. Micheal, let democracy reign. Let us have the convention. let the Honorable Peter David, if he feels that he can defeat you, the political giant that you are, let we have let's have the convention, and on the convention floor, both of you go for political leader. Let the best candidate win. And if it is that you haven't win, you lost, and Peter David has been voted as political leader, then you, as a elder, as a senior party member for how many decades since the party start, come in and coach and tutor and help him. And I've used this example many times. Let's look at St. Kitts. Dr. Terence Dew is the Prime Minister of St. Kitts. But Dr. Denzel Douglas, who served as Prime Minister as long as Keith has been Prime Minister, has stepped aside, and now he's the former Foreign Affairs Minister. He's traveling the world doing what he does best. And we have seen this happen. Portia Simpson Miller step aside from the PNP in Jamaica. We've seen this happen. Transition of leadership has happened across the Caribbean, right there in Antigua. Lester Brand Bud step aside. He lost to Gaston Brown. Gaston Brown became political leader and he became Prime Minister.
PJ Patterson of Jamaica too. PJ Patterson of Jamaica, he basically stepped aside.
And today, PJ Patterson is still respected and lauded in Jamaica. If PJ Patterson opens his mouth and says, listen, the country needs to go in that direction, the country will go in that direction. And I believe that Dr. Micheal has that, and I'm not biased about it, it's a fact. The man has that political will in Grenada. But here is it that you're abusing it now. You have gone over and beyond your time. And as a leader, an experienced leader, an older leader, you would recognize that, hey, the time has come for me to hand over the reins of power to someone else, mentor them, coach them, and let the party continue. What is going to happen to the NNP? And this is my final point. What is going to happen to the NNP is what happened to the GULP. Sadly to say, when Sir Eric died in 97, 98, so did the GULP. They have not been able to win another seat since after what happened, what Herbert and Keith and the others did to them back in the 80s. If that is what is going to happen to the NNP, I am concerned about democracy in my country. I am concerned about the role of parliament in my country. I'm concerned of what is going to happen after. Remember, Dr. Micheal refused Nazim Burke an international job because he said, what is going to happen? What is going to happen for democracy? This is the same man who has cancelled this party convention because he's afraid of the same democracy. When are we going, as a Grenadian people, stand up and say, enough is enough, Dr. Micheal? When are we going to stand up and say, enough is enough? We have had enough of your political tomfoolery. We have enough of your political trickery. We have enough of your political lies and meandering. And my very final point, Junior, we know that behind Dr. Micheal is a faceless monster pushing him. But let me say this. As much as behind every good man, it could also break a very good man. Good night, Junior.
All right. And also, Michael, you respond. We're going to wrap up here. I don't think that the party just lost Delma. I don't think it was only Delma. There was so much others that spoke yesterday. They lost a ground team, Team Delma, one of the hardest working ground team, as they said, canvassing and otherwise. And also we saw Kenny Lal Singh, who came up and spoke as well. So it wasn't only Delma Thomas. There are a list of people who moved on the other side because Delma Thomas moved on as well. Michael, I guess your final point to that, and then we'll have to wrap up. We're way over time already.
Well, all I would say is I wish the Honorable Delma Thomas the best of luck. She's a good human being. She's genuine. She's a good public servant. If she's given the opportunity to serve the people once more, I think she would do a wonderful job. But I want to say to you, my dear brother, the question of changing a leader in the NNP is not up to me or you. It is up to the supporters and the delegates of the new National Party. And if they so choose to elect him once more, the political leader, nothing we can do. All we need to do is to go out and campaign against him and ensure that he never gets back into office. And I just want to remind you that I'm not a supporter, I'm not a fan of Dr. Micheal, my dear brother, okay? But at the same time, I understand the democracy, I understand how Grenada politics work, and no one, as I tell you again, no one can wrestle the leadership of that party away from him, save and accept he agrees to pass on the mantle to that person. So anyone wishing to succeed him must sit down with him and get the nod from him, get an endorsement from him, and then you could move forward.
Right.
Anything short of that is chaos. He's not going to go anywhere like that. You won't be able to push him out.
And that is,
he had several political.
That is the Dwight's point. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened with the GOLP. Gary died. The GOLP was unable to even rise up.
Could you recall what happened to Mr. Howard Blaise and the NNP? Mr. Blaise was in a wheelchair.
Yes.
And he still wouldn't quit. and when Dr. Micheal wrestled the party away from Mr. Blaise went on to form another party called TNP.
Yes, yeah, TNP.
So we have a history in Grenada where leaders hold on to the party until death, because they believe that it is their divine right to lead a party, that God sent them there to lead the party. All of them talk that language, and you have to understand that. So Dr. Micheal is no exception. They all believe in this thing. Robert Blaise, Uncle Gary, Kit Micheal, and all of them same language. So all we need to do now is to make sure that this government deliver the goods and services to the Grenadian people, so we don't have to come on a program and talk about whether Dr. Micheal go or whether he stay. That would be irrelevant. Deliver the goods and services to the people, strengthen your presence on the ground. Forget about Dr. Micheal, what he do and he doesn't do with his party. Go on with your transformation agenda. Bring prosperity to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and we all can say job well done.
And it's impossible, and it is impossible to please everyone. Even with this,
you can't please everyone.
Totally impossible. Even with this great news here today, folks, that the government of Grenada just sent out the 16.4 million million pound grant from the UK CIF for Southern St. George water supply expansion. Remember that this was a major topic in Dr. Micheal's speech that he gave to his constituents just a few weeks ago, where he said that the government basically lost that. First he said 80 million, then he said 70 million, but it was about 70 million that was initially promised by the former Prime Minister of the UK at the time. So this press release is basically saying that the government of Grenada is pleased to confirm that the United Kingdom, through its Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, the Caribbean Development Bank, by letter dated on May 16th, has reaffirmed the grant a financial donation of £16 million under the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership. And this is great news. It's a definitely needed injection, whether it's going to go to the expansion of the water in the south, the east, the west, the north, wherever it is an injection into Grenada. And that is great news. Absolutely great news. I don't know if you guys said the last thing you wanted to say. If you could wrap up from here. Is it, everybody said everything that they needed to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I am happy to hear that we are getting some assistance from the British government for the rehabilitation of the water supply in the south. But I'm not overly joyed about it, because I know that the people of rural Grenada, the people in St. Andrews, I know that the problems that they have in the water supply. I know that for the last 50, 60 years, the water supply in this area has not been rehabilitated. And I think too many things are happening in the south of the island. All the development projects are going on there. All the hotels are going on there. Everything is in the south. And we have to remember that the south alone is not Grenada. Other parts of Grenada need development as well. And of course, the policymakers, whether it was NNP, who may have put in that request to the British government for assistance to develop the south. Look who live in the south. The south is the tourism sector of the country. Not enough emphasis is been placed to develop the water supply in St. Andrews. Sometimes kids have to go to school in the morning. When they open up the pipes, there's no running water. You flush your toilet, there's no water. When it rains, there's no water. So we need development of our water supply, not just in the south, but throughout rural Grenada.
Absolutely.
And I pray that some of this money will be spent in St. Andrews, especially St. Andrews Southwest, where I live, because I know the condition of the water supply there.
Thank you so much. Micheal Baptiste, former Minister of Agriculture. Dwight Sampson, journalist. Dwight, thank you so much. I know we went over an extended period of time. Appreciate having you guys on board. Guys, we went off a very long schedule with any commercial break, but we got to thank our sponsors, guys, the people who ensure that this program airs every single day. We got to thank and big up the National Lotteries Authority, the NLA. Thank you so much. Also, Amazing Colors, guys. Amazing Colors, Monday Night Mass. Remember, if you play Monday Night Mass, play Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors for Carnival. Check out mnngrenada.com. Let me put the link in there, mnngrenada.com. Get your packages tonight, mnngrenada.com. And listen, if you get your package tonight and you tag me and tell me you got your package tonight, I got a special gift for you. Get your package tonight, and I have a special gift for you guys. But it's not only jab, you know. It's not only Monday Night Mass. It's also jab. Yeah, it's also jab. See that sexy jab there? Get your jab package right now at mnngrenada.com. Beautiful costumes for Monday Night Mass and Juve. mnngrenada.com. Let's take a word from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money.
When your choice, class, and taste says luxury, visit JTS Luxury Home. With our spring into summer sale, all overstocked items must go. We stock a wide assortment of modern furniture, bedding, and home decor. The sale runs into midsummer or while stocks last. JTS Luxury Home, 467 Thomas Boylan Street, between Pitkin and East New York Avenue in Brooklyn, where opulence meets affordability.
JTS Luxury Homes. Check them out, guys. And remember, Caribbean owned and operated business.
LMG Committee presents a classical and royal night, Little Mr. and Miss Grenada 2023, taking place on Saturday, May 27th at the Grenada Trade Center. 7 princesses and 5 princes will grace the stage. Starting time, 6 p.m. sharp. Tickets, adults 30, children 20. Music by DJ Blackstorm. Special guest appearance by local acts and full-time Grenada groovy Monarch Dash.
Put your glasses up to the sky. If you feel to cry, you could cry. Everybody have the tough time. Sometimes all it takes is one line.
Come out and support our future stars. It will be a night of splendor to remember. So get your tickets early at the Grenada Trade Center, Grenadian Optical on Melville Street and in the Spiceland Mall, BG's Restaurant and Bar, Pineapple Marketing and Communication in St. Andrew, and Shi's Bar in Victoria. Or call us on telephone number 425-0624-403-0411 or 416-3881. The night will be fine like wine. So, see you there.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, National Lottery Authority, for making sure that we keep the lights on here at Ride Along Live. Guys, listen, if you have a business, or an event, and you want to advertise right here on the ride, the best way, guys, to reach your direct audience is right here on Ride Along Live. Did you hear that? Last month, we were able to reach over 4.5 million, with an M, 4.5 million viewers around the world. 4.5 million. It's a big number. It's a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs. And then you have to multiply that by 2. So it's 8.6, because every one person have 2 eyeballs. Hey. Yeah, so listen, the platform doing well. If you want to advertise your service, your business, your event right here on Ride Along Live, inbox us. We have some really nice package to fit your budget. From big budget, small budget, small budget, big budget, everybody could benefit from advertising opportunity right here on Ride Along Live. Yes. I got to tell you about the 4th annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant. The 4th annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant. This is going to be held at J-Loft, 1055 East 45th Street, Brooklyn, New York. Tickets $40. Early bird tickets, early bird tickets gone. Advanced ticket $50. General admission $60. More at the door. It's the 4th annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant happening at J-Loft. It's Sunday, June 25th. Doors open at 4 p.m., showtime 6 p.m. Lavish looks, ladies, dancers, and more. Check them out. Live performance by the Hitman Inspector, DeVille, Keisha Martin, and 6 beautiful ladies. It's a night to remember inside J-Loft, 1055 East 45th Street, Brooklyn, New York. Right Along Live. Guys, we got to say thank you again to the folks over there at Amazing Colors. Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. Beautiful, sexy, and sweet. Beautiful, sexy, and sweet. Packages available right now. You can get your package. Go to mnngrenada.com and get your Monday Night Mass package. It is simply amazing. On behalf of all our production team here at Ride Along Live, our executive producer, Lois JJ, our moderators, Kibbs, Tian Fraser, Gail Charles, we say good night. And remember, guys, it's always nice. It's good to be nice to people, someone short, because you never know when someone short would be nice, or we have to be nice to you. Okay. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out. To the team over there at Bashik Carnival. Bashik, play mass with Bashik at bashikcarnival.com. bashikcarnival.com.
The best time I have for spice mass is plain mass with amazing colors. I love amazing colors. Always spectacular. Always amazing.